great people, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to cook the most nutrient-rich seafood okra soup. I mean nutritious seafood okra soup. I'm sure you're excited about that. So first thing first, on this channel, the first thing is to wash your hand thoroughly and properly. That's just about the basic hygiene, and then you pat your hands dry. Okay, and then next I'm going to be showing you the list of ingredients I'm going to be using in this cooking. So here is about the list of seafood I'm going to be using: my red pepper, my yellow pepper, my fresh crab. Okay, you can, and this is pre-made, you can use raw one if you want. I also have my fresh salmon fish. You can choose any other kind of fish that you love. Okay, and as well I'm going to be using fresh shrimp. I used a portion from this bag before, so this is already pre-made as well. You can use the raw one if you want. Okay, you can be very generous with your seafood. I have my fresh and well grated okra as well here, and just in front of this, inside this plate, I have my locust beans as well that I'm going to be using. So basically I'm going to be starting out by washing my crab, like rinsing it out into this pot for seasoning, and yeah, that's just there about what I'm doing. So make sure you rinse it out properly, and if you don't want to rinse out with cold water, you can as well rinse out with warm water. Okay, that's just the first thing I am going to do, and I'm showing you right now. All right, so before I continue, I just also want to remind you that you shouldn't forget that okra is a great source of iron because it is enriched with folate, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and embedded with a lot of vitamins. Okay, so there's so much you're going to benefit from eating okra soup. And this is a very common recipe. I know a lot of people cook okra soup, but this is just another recipe. The seafood, I'm sure you're going to want to try something new out, and that's what exactly that I'm showing you. So basically I'm just there about showing you or preparing my stock. Then next I'm going to go in and add a little of this fresh shrimp. I just don't want it to be so much because of the sizable portion of soup I want to make. Just put a size that is adequate for you cooking. Okay, and next I'm also going to be adding some of the salmon fish. Okay, and like I said, you can be very generous with your seafood. Just make sure you use something that is good for, like something that suits you perfectly. You can use fresh snails, you can use lobsters, you can use any kind of fish that you want. You can use crayfish as well. Just add anything. Make sure that it's just seafood. Then next I'm adding a portion of onions. I'm using a medium-sized onion. I'm just going to grate a little into this pot, and I'll use the remaining half to blend up my spices. Okay, before I continue, let me plead and implore that if you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please help my community. I really need your subscription. I need to interact as well with you. If there's something that you would love to see me cook on this channel, please do not hesitate to drop it in the comment section. Do not also hesitate to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it in any way. Okay, and also try to share this video with someone who you know will benefit from it as well. That's just the way to support my community. Please do not forget to do that. So next I'm just going to add some amount of seasoning adequate for what I'm cooking. Use any seasoning stock of your choice. Then I'm also going to add an amount of salt. Oh, this was too much. I just had to return a little, and that is just perfect and adequate. Yeah. And next I'm going to add water that is adequate also for the cooking. Don't put too much of water, just enough to cook it well, and then you cover it up so you can cook properly. All right, so while this is cooking, while it is boiling, I'm going to prepare the spices I'm going to be using. I'm using my yellow and my red pepper. Just use an amount adequate for what you're cooking. I love this yellow pepper, and I'm going to tell you why. Then next again, I'm going to be adding an amount of this fresh shrimp. You know, I already used a portion when I was cooking my stock. I'm going to add an amount. What this blending does to your food is something I cannot really describe. It's so enriching. You know, the taste is all retained. Okay, and there's this particular taste that it gives to your food. I'm sure you want to try this out. Please do not hesitate to try it out, and I also want to hear what exactly you got new or something. What exactly did you think was different about your food? Okay, then I added the remaining half of onions that I used the other time. Then I forgot to show you guys, I used a medium-sized clove of garlic and ginger. Those two are great spices and very healthy for just any kind of meal. It is not only limited to making stew and soups. You can use your garlic and your ginger for just any kind of food. And I tell you, that's the perfect taste that will supplement every other thing you've added. Yeah. And then I'll just go and add and blend it up. I'm just going to blend it up, sorry. Yeah. Then you don't also want to over blend it, okay? You don't want to over blend it so that it's just perfect, okay? Just make it a semi-solid paste. Yeah. And that's that. Our stock is still boiling. You can do that with minimal heat, okay? But just be sure that it is well cooked, like thoroughly cooked. Yeah. So after blending it, I want to set it aside, okay? I want to set it aside and give my cooking a little more time. And at this point, my stock is already well cooked. So the next thing I'm going to be going in with my palm oil. Okay, let me encourage that you also try and get good oil. Like, you do know what a good palm oil does to your food. The taste is different. Everything is perfect, adequate. Okay, I don't underestimate the power of palm oil, okay? And palm oil is a very great source of vitamin A for your eyesight and just a good nutrient. Okay, don't put too much. When it is well cooked, then you just add a little, you add the spices that is already blended. And let me emphasize that I don't consider frying too healthy. Okay, so every opportunity I get not to fry, I will always jump at it. And I'll also encourage you to do the same thing. Some people, there's this ideology that your food has to be fried for it to be perfect or to be exact the way you want it. No, it only depends on the recipe you're using, how great you are at cooking. That is what will determine the overall outcome. The ingredients and everything you're going to be using in your cooking. You can still steam your food, boil your food, cook it in different ways and still get a perfect taste. It all boils down on how you are doing the cooking. So I don't support that school of thought that you have to fry all your food. Frying is not so healthy. This is just a piece of my 10 naira, how do we say it, my 10 cents for you, okay? Then this is the remaining half of my locust beans. I just added it. I blended the remaining portion. Generally, I use just about a teaspoon. Yeah, just about a teaspoon. And next, I want to stir it. Okay, you have to keep stirring it. Just stir. Don't get tired of stirring it. You want to be sure that the ingredients are well retained. You want to be sure that everything is well absorbed. You want to be sure that they are even. Just make sure they romance, for the lack of a better word, they romance each other properly. Everything is adequate. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's just it. Yeah, I know also that there is a great group of people who are also great cook, okay, and they don't need to necessarily taste their food to find out the taste, okay. But fortunately, let me use it that way. Fortunately, I don't think I belong to that group. I think I love tasting my food. I just want to savor every part of it. I want to be sure everything is up to taste, everything is adequate. So don't be surprised if you see me tasting the soup over and over again. After all, I'm the one who will give the first verdict before any other person gives me theirs. Okay, so I want to be sure that I'm doing a great job. So there's no crime in tasting your food. Taste it if you need to. Okay, so I kept tasting it. I just want to be sure. Yeah. Then you cover it. Just give it a little more time. Just a little more time. But make sure that you're cooking this with minimal heat. I said earlier that vitamins are found in okra soup, okay? So you don't want to overcook it. You don't want the vitamins to be lost or denatured because they are very heat sensitive. So just cook with minimal heat and make sure that you don't let it overstay on heat, okay? For me, I like my okra soup half done. That's the best way to serve it. It is still greenish, it's fresh, the nutrients is well retained, everything is perfect. You can do what suits you anyway, but that's just what I think. That's what I think. So I added a little more seasoning and salt because I found it wasn't adequate. So just stir again and again. And now, I mentioned earlier as well that if you don't mind your fish, you can use any kind of fish rather that you want. For salmon, it usually gets softened on time. So if you don't mind your fish getting scattered, you can add it at the early stage. But if you want to see it whole, like you don't want it scattered, then you might want to wait till later on before adding the fish. So for me, I don't mind my salmon getting scattered. Okay, so that's why I added it from the beginning. So all the taste, everything I need can, they would already be retained. They will be retained already in it. Okay, but just do what is perfect for you, what is adequate for you. Okay, so that was what I did, and I gave it some few more minutes. Yeah, and at this point, my sauce was already well cooked, was boiling. So now next, I just want to prepare and add my okra. So I think this thing is called okra for a reason, even though I don't know what okra. Though some people call it okra, some call it okra. Whatever you call it is perfect. So you want to stir and whisk it. Sometimes you have a crazy okra that really doesn't want to draw, but me, I like that drawing where you dip your hand and you pack it, and you have to bend your head to put the soup in your mouth. I like that. So if you don't mind, or if you're in my team or my group of person, my team, okay, I think you need to whisk it. See, this whisking does a lot of magic for me. It gives me that consistency, that thickness that I want. So just whisk as often times as you need to and add it. Just add it. At this point, the smell and the aroma coming from the soup, the sizzling, my goodness, oh God, I was enjoying, I was savoring all of it. My gastric juices were already awake. They were wondering what was going on with me. I was just enjoying every bit of it. And all those, our hermits too, they were getting ready. If you don't know what hermit is, you can check your dictionary. They used to compete with us for some things, okay? Yeah, so I'm sure they were already also getting ready, because I know, at this point, my gastric juice, the secretory phase was already activated. If you understand the physiology of hunger, even though I'm the one making the soup, I was craving it already. I was salivating. My olfactory nerves were already stimulated. Oh my goodness, you just need to cook this soup to understand what exactly I'm talking about. And don't forget the uniqueness of this soup. This is seafood okra soup. So if you don't have seafood in them, no, that's not seafood okra soup. That's the recipe, okay? So be generous with your seafood and choose as many as you love, okay? Just make sure that it's something that is suitable, something you can afford, something that is accessible, okay? And that's just there about what you need or how you need to make seafood okra soup. Just stir it, and at this point the heat is already very minimal. Try to reduce or tone it down as much as you can. You don't need to denature any of those nutrients. And I added a little more seasoning to taste, okay? And I stirred. You can't just get tired of stirring. I stirred it, and yes, you have a perfect soup here. This soup is ready to go down with just anything. I mean, just any kind of swallow. You can use pounded yam, semovita, maize meal, wheat. You can use amala. You can use whatever kind of swallow that is your preference, okay? I'm just going to enjoy myself with this meal. Thank you so much for watching this video, for sticking with me. Turn on your notification bell so that each time I drop a new video, you're going to be notified. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I remain Peace Ogurumbi. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.